Coming at you live in the heart of Lincoln.
Say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
On air and online at theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Jake Bakoven and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This is the Ticket Water Cooler here on 93.7 The Ticket. And guess what? If we run out of time today, we're starting late. So if we run out of time, we'll just call it a tie, go home.
Yep.
Nobody loses. We'll all feel good about it.
No problem. We have to get back home. We have to travel. So sometimes you run out of time.
What's more important than playing your next game might be playing the game you're in, but
No. Got to make sure that we don't spend too much time on the road. Them's is the rules. The rules is the rules.
Obviously, we're talking about Husker baseball finishing in a 16-16 tie. You say, well, wow, they must have won extra innings. They eventually just had to call it. No, this was 7 innings. They didn't even go 9.
This was 7.
Yeah.
They were up 4-0 at one point.
They were up quite a bit.
They were up 4-0. Actually, no, they really weren't. They were up 4-1.
Yeah.
4-0 was the largest lead that they held, I believe. Then they were up 4-1. I believe it was after the 4th. And then things went to poop.
Well, weren't they up going into the bottom of the 9th or bottom of the 7th?
Bottom of the 7th?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were up like 2 runs.
Yeah, and then they
That's what I'm saying. They were up. They were up 4-0 after a solo home run by and I can't remember the name, but there was a solo home run, an RBI double, an RBI single, and something else. They were up 4-0, then they were up 4-1, and then bleep hit the fan, and they were down like 8-4. After an inning, they only allowed 7 hits, but they allowed 16 runs. They allowed so many walks, hit by pitches, wild pit, like just anything you could imagine going wrong went wrong. And Nebraska baseball comes back from their first road trip of the season, their first series of the season, a 4-game series out in San Diego, with an 0-3-1 record.
Yeah, it's a tough start, but it's kind of the same conversation you have every year in baseball. Nebraska loads up, goes out west, doesn't do well early in the non-con because of
they
weather.
were up 16-10 in the 7th.
Yeah, they were up pretty big there and let it collapse there in the 7th inning, and then they just said
they never even got to the 8th inning where their normal collapses happened in the first 3 games.
I hate ties. I mean, I hate ties in the
travel,
NFL. I hate ties in
travel rule restriction thing happened in softball earlier this year with Texas and I want to say Kentucky, where Kentucky was up by 3 runs. They'd scored 3 runs in 1 inning, but the inning wasn't over. But Texas knew that they were getting to the point where they were going to run into their travel restriction, and this became a big talking point where they had multiple mound visits. They had a lineup change, like somebody came into DH halfway through an at bat. They had a pinch runner. They were talking to the ump about something, and they were just delaying until finally, before the inning ended, they had to call the game and go back to the last completed full inning, which the game was tied. So Texas got out without losing the game in a tie to Kentucky.
I just hate it. I mean, I know it was predetermined. It was kind of like, hey, we've got. And you didn't expect the game to last that long. Usually not 16-16, 32 runs in 7 innings. But I just hate for it to end that way. I don't know what the idea would be. You can't do next basket wins like in basketball. So some teams got a whole half inning.
That's like backyard rules. Next run wins.
Yeah, next run wins.
Come on, let's do it.
You guys got
just
a
home, like a home run off.
But yeah, I mean, something like that would even be better, just so you can have somebody win.
Just bring some random person in from the stands, and they throw 3 pitches to one batter each from each side. Whoever hits the most home runs in those 3 pitches wins the game.
I mean, especially if it's 16-16, just have you're right. Have a home run derby.
Just do it. Come on, let's figure it out.
It's a low-scoring ball game. Maybe you try something.
You get 3 pitches. You can't take a pitch. If you take a pitch, it counts as one of them. You get 3 pitches. That's it.
And of course, this Nebraska baseball team too is basically, we talk about flipping the roster in Husker football. This roster is a lot of it's new. So it is that same conversation where it's like, don't panic. Things didn't start off in their first series. This typically happens. So obviously you do, but I mean, it is kind of it almost like wears on you a bit as a Husker fan to have that conversation every year, because it's pretty much, it happens every year.
So I'm looking at the box score right now. Nebraska was up 4-1 after 2. No run scored in the third for either team. San Diego scored 9 in the fourth. Nebraska scored 5 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, 5 in the seventh, and San Diego scored 6 in the seventh. And, they went on to the eighth, ran out of time, and went back to the tie score at the end of the seventh. You allowed 9 runs in the fourth and 6 runs in the seventh.
Yeah.
And the bullpen was touted as not touted, but the bullpen was supposed to be one of the strengths because you had multiple starters from last season's squad who were moving over to the bullpen, which was supposed to make your bullpen stronger. So far through 4 games, it doesn't look the greatest. Now I understand, that especially for northern teams, the first couple of games are kind of a struggle because a team like San Diego has probably been playing outside for quite some time. Nebraska had a couple outdoor practices, but nothing to the level of what San Diego's probably had or any of those other teams down south in warmer weather. So there is that aspect of things, but to lose 3 games in the fashion that you lost those 3 and to get a tie in the fashion that you got a tie is not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's
good.
it's not good.
Ideal.
It's not ideal. It's not something that you look at and you're like, okay, well, if we fix this, then maybe we could. No, you had leads in, I believe, all of the games. You had leads, and in the other 3, in the 8th inning, you completely fell apart. In this one, you fell apart in the 4th, and then again in the 7th. It's not. It's strange, and it's really something that this coaching staff is going to have to look into because the bats were alive. You had 17 hits. You had, let me see, you had 3 home runs no, that's San Diego. You had 2 home runs. Nope. Yeah, 2 home runs in this game alone. Multiple doubles, 1 triple, and you still your pitchers ended up giving up 16 runs, 15 of them in 2 innings alone. And like somebody on the text line says, again, a lot of those came off of, actually all of those came off of just 7 hits for San Diego, 20 walked batters, and 10 batters hit by pitches.
Jeez, my goodness.
Just not able to find any type of strike zone.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I think it's concerning, maybe a little bit more concerning than, again, the annual, well, it's you're playing out west type of thing, early season thing, but we'll see. I mean, I think, obviously 1 series in baseball, I mean, you can get swept in the middle of the season. It doesn't mean everything, but it is something, a little bit of a concern to start and something you have to fight back. And again, with Husker basketball, it's been this fight to get back to 500. Of course, last year was kind of the same thing. The whole year was just kind of working uphill to get. And so hopefully you don't fall too far behind that. We'll see. Nebraska's got plenty of time to correct it, but it didn't get off to the great start, like we're saying. Interesting too, because it's not just Nebraska; it's the Big Ten. This is the northern states problem. And kind of looking at conferences as a whole, I wanted to ask you, as far as college basketball goes, we kind of talk about the brand names not being there, but the ACC is down, the Big Ten is down, at least as far as like top end competition. The Big 12. You at this point, you just have to say, maybe is that the premier basketball conference in the country now?
They have
for years,
6
you've said,
teams?
yeah. I mean, obviously, it's the best conference now this year. It's won the last 2 national championships, and I don't know how long in the ACC's got the changing of the guard type of thing going on with their top programs.
I mean, your defending national champion might not even make the tournament.
Yeah,
or not defending. You're defending national runner-up.
Runner-up, preseason number 1.
Yeah.
And everybody says that's the same team. Well, Brady Manick was a big part of that team. And I don't know if nothing more than what's happened this year can show you that's not the same team. They need Brady Manick.
Was he that big of a piece? Like
they were, but you have to remember that wasn't
from making the national championship just from making the national championship, you take one guy away. I mean, they lost other people, but you take one, main guy away. You're still North Carolina. You're still kind of loaded with talent.
You would think,
and now you're going to miss the tournament potentially. I mean, you might get in on brand name alone, depending on how
Probably
many more
not
games.
the way
If they win 2-3 more games, they'll probably get in just because they're North Carolina.
They're reeling right now,
but they're not on the best stretch.
No. But the other thing too is, and I felt this about that North Carolina team too, and it's a great run, but that's just what it was. It wasn't like that was one of the top 4 teams entering the tournament last year, and it's a very thin margin for error. They couldn't get in foul trouble. They had like 6 guys that were legitimately pretty good to play in tournament level competition. Brady Manick was one of those. I know they got Pete Nance, so he thought that might be able to fix some things there over from Northwestern, but I mean, Manick
like should have stayed at Northwestern.
Looks like he should have stayed at Northwestern.
Who would have thought?
Which is strange. But Northwestern now really good. But that's the other thing is the Big Ten. It's hard to say. Nebraska, despite this big run they're going on, they might still be playing on Wednesday. It's going to be tough to get out of that Wednesday bracket.
So there is, me and David were talking about this. Not saying it's going to happen, not going to get overly optimistic, just giving you numbers. There is a chance that this Nebraska team could make the NCAA tournament even without winning the Big Ten tournament. They have 4 quad 1 wins. If they, again, big, massive if, they win their last 3 games in the regular season, and they win 2 games. We'll give them 2 games in the Big Ten tournament. They will be at 19-15 with, depending on who they beat and who those teams beat, potentially 5 or 6 quad 1 wins. With one of, if not the toughest schedule in the entire country, do you leave a 19-win, toughest schedule, 6 quad 1 win team out of the NCAA tournament?
Unfortunately,
there is a way.
With this
it's
Big Ten,
very slim.
With this Big Ten, I'm not sure if they do. Remember, Nebraska, Tim Miles' team, his second to last team, was left out. What are they, like 23-12 or something like that?
Yeah.
And it was just, it shouldn't have happened. Nebraska should have been in. But I think that partially tells you the other part of the story, too, is if Nebraska is on the bubble, they're not going to get. Well, they're playing in the big. They're going to get.
this year especially. They're playing in the Big Ten. Well, the Big Ten's not the greatest conference this year.
And the Big Ten, I know Purdue's the obvious answer. Take Purdue out of it. Out of all the rest of the teams, who's making a run in the tournament? Who are you picking? Because it was this kind of same way last year, where they had All-Americans on their teams, right? The Big Ten had like 3 out of the 5 All-Americans. It might have been 4 out of 5. In any case. But they weren't like great teams, and nobody really made a big run in the tournament except for Purdue. This year, I think you're kind of getting the same thing, and it's just strange with your typical powerhouses in college basketball. The ACC, the Big Ten being down, the Big 12 has definitely taken that position, which is strange just in the world of college sports, right? Where the Big 12 a few years ago looked like it was going to sink. Now it looks like it's on better grounds than the Pac-12. But it's crazy to see that, that conference kind of taking over the because if you look at the Big 12, there's teams with awful Big 12 records that are still like basically every team has a chance to make the tournament. Oklahoma and West Virginia, though some of those teams near the bottom might be outside shots, but basically everybody else is ranked. Remember, the Big 12 has 10 teams.
yeah, they only have 10, and they could make an argument for 8 of them. I could hear all 10 would be kind of a stretch, but with the amount of talent that is currently in the Big 12 and the fact that they do play, everybody plays everybody in the Big 10, in the Big 12. It'll be really interesting to see where they're sitting come Selection Sunday, because like I said, their top 6 teams are all in the top 25. TCU was 24th. They have a 7-8 conference record, but they are 18-10 and number 24 in the country. They have a losing record in their own conference.
Yeah.
Number 14 in the nation is 8-6 in the Big 12, Kansas State, who is 20-7 overall. The Big 12 is stacked with great teams. Texas Tech is making a late push. They're 4-10 in the Big 12, but they're 15-12 overall. And people are like, hey, watch out for Texas Tech, man. They'll take you down. Like, it's so weird how, as you said, a couple of years ago, the Big 12 looked like it was floundering, and now they're practically on the top of the world in terms of, the amount of teams that you could see making a Final Four push.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking there's a lot of when it comes to tournament time, I think there's going to be a lot of picks with Big 12 teams in there.
You don't want to face Kansas. You don't want to face Texas. You don't want to face Baylor. You don't want to face Kansas State. Like those four teams. Like Kansas State is the fourth best team in the Big 12, and I don't think anybody wants to face them. They scored 100+ points in not overtime, in regulation. Like that team can score with the best of them. That's not a team you want to play.
I can't wait to see what the picks are. Like, every year when they do the tournament, you've kind of got these are the most popular picks, and I'm sure it'll be a lot of the 1 seeds.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Kansas is going to get a heavy lean because they're defending champions in their brand name near the top that you can believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia's won a title in recent years. They're number 6 right now. So, you kind of think of them as a 2 seed at this point. We'll kind of see how it all plays out. But I think this year, we say this every year just to get a little bit more excited about March Madness, but this year is going to be an absolute mess when it comes to tournament time because almost relying on your brand names might hurt you. This is not the year for brand names.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Right now, bracketology has Alabama, Houston, Kansas, and Purdue as your 1 seeds. Your 2 seeds, Baylor, Arizona, went too far, UCLA, and Texas. There you go. The Big 12 has 3 teams. 3 teams as 1 or 2 seed.
Yeah. And
no big deal.
I will say this, and I don't know how Nebraska would fare in Big 12 basketball this year, but I do miss the Big 12. Phillips 66, watching some of those games. That's free shout out for Phillips 66.
Is it still?
I think they still sponsor them, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
You never hear about them, but they're still there.
I still buy Phillips 66 gas just because of my Big 12, growing up in the Big 12 in basketball.
Next 4 out, Texas Tech, Penn State.
Oh, Penn State's got a little trouble.
Wisconsin, part of the last 4 in.
Interesting. I mean, and that will be interesting, too, because some of those Big Ten teams are going to be on the bubble when it comes to tournament play. I can't wait for the Big Ten tournament. Hopefully, Nebraska can make some noise. We'll make some noise coming up next year on the Ticket Water Cooler.
Spring sports are here, and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play it against sports. Is yours to go for sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. Going to Class E State Wrestling, Lincoln East would finish second as a team behind Millard South. Switching to girls basketball, Class A sub-districts are set. Lincoln High, 21-1, will have a bye and will play the winner of Omaha Burke and Grand Island. Lincoln Northeast, 13-10, will face off against Omaha Benson, 10-10. Lincoln Pius the 10th, 17-5 record, will play Columbus with an 8-15 record. Lincoln East, 17-5, will play Omaha Westview, 10-12. All games will take place on Tuesday, February 22nd in the the championship round of sub-districts will take place on Friday, February 24th. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
Come see the state's largest display of John Deere equipment at Acres Ag and Turf Expo. Acres Ag professionals and suppliers will be on hand to discuss techniques from tillage and planting to application and harvest. Also, don't miss the full lineup of John Deere mowers and compact tractors. Join us at Grand Island Fauner Park February 21st and 22nd, or the Lincoln Lancaster Event Center March 8th and 9th. Go to acres.com to request your free tickets today.
Hey guys, Nick Sadert here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Spine and Sports Chiropractic. I experienced a herniated disc in my lower back a few years ago, and thanks to the folks at Spine and Sports, I got back to feeling 100%. At Spine and Sports, they use the active release technique, which involves the soft tissue and can alleviate headaches, shoulder pain, plantar fasciitis, and more. What I like most about the ART method is that your doctor will construct a plan that fits your needs, because the technique is not a cookie-cutter approach. Allow Spine and Sports Chiropractic to help you feel better. Set up your appointment today by giving them a call at 402-261-6841.
We have a Big 12 battle tonight here on the ticket as the number 23 Iowa State Cyclones travel down south to take on the 8th-ranked Texas Longhorns. The last matchup between these two back on January 17th saw the Cyclones upset the Longhorns up in Ames 78-67. After starting the season 13-2, Iowa State has lost 7 of their last 11 games. Can the Cyclones sweep the Longhorns in the regular season, or will Texas get revenge? Tip-off is scheduled for 7:45 p.m., and you can hear all the action right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Back to the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tanner Morgan is the plan at quarterback for a pro franchise. We know it because we've seen it.
We've seen it.
We've seen it. He's been picked.
By
the USFL
Michigan.
draft. By Michigan, yeah, which makes it even more interesting. Staying in Big Ten country. So the USFL college draft just started this past hour. I'm not sure exactly how it's. I don't know if Tanner's if he still wants to try to go for the NFL, how that's going to work out, because their season starts in I think April 15th, somewhere around there. The draft isn't too far along, the NFL draft, but I guess it's just kind of interesting. So there weren't a whole lot of big names here, and I was wondering how this college draft is going to work out, because you kind of got to pick guys that aren't going to get a shot at the NFL. So there's that bubble of guys that are
you're kind of banking,
NFL or not, and then there's the
banking on
level below that, I suppose, which is probably not quite NFL.
Mhm.
But it's interesting to see as these leagues pop up. Of course, the USFL and XFL. How many of these guys will get the shot at the NFL in the end? Of course, we all know that happened eventually with Rod Smart. He and some other guys in old versions of this, but. Tanner Morgan, 8th pick, and not a first-round pick. There's 8 teams, but only 7 teams got a first-round pick. because one had some roster mismanagement issues, which got their pick taken away, their first round pick. So, anyways, I think I will. We picked our XFL teams, right? We didn't pick our USFL teams.
Oh, I have mine from
you
last
have
year.
yours from last year.
Yeah, the defending champions, the Birmingham Stallions.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because I picked correctly. It doesn't really say. I looked up USFL, NFL. The USFL has not clarified which players will be available for its 2023 draft. They did announce there are approximately 3,000 players eligible to play professional football. In total, only 80 of the 3,000 eligible players will be selected in this draft. And then it says it isn't clear whether all selected players will play for the USFL or if some will play for other leagues while the team in question holds on to their rights.
Okay.
So they'll have their rights, but if they get drafted by an NFL team, they're more than likely going to play for that or
at least give it a
practice,
shot.
go to the practice squad, all that stuff. So, yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you want USFL contracts?
Yes,
How much they're going
I'd
to pay?
like to see that. Yeah.
Total max salary, $60,500. Active player, $5,350 per week. Inactive, $2,500. Training camp, $400 per week. Championship win bonus, $5,000. So it went up because in their first season, players were given $4,500 per week if active, and $1,500 if inactive. So it went up a little bit under $1,000 for active, and it went up exactly $1,000 for an inactive player. So there you go.
So
the USFL making money.
In other words, if Tanner Morgan's picked in the NFL, we'll try out the NFL.
100%.
Get a lot more money from that.
Hey, but this is good. This is pretty good
It's
money.
not bad, yeah.
Pretty good money.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Oh, and it has happened. The 15th pick of the USFL draft. It is Adrian Martinez, Kansas State quarterback. Adrian Martinez. I got a Kansas State picture.
He ain't gonna play for you.
You don't think so? You think he's going to get some NFL pick? The New Jersey Generals,
15.
which, by the way, is the former place of Battleground. Mike Riley hooking back up with Adrian Martinez. Things are just perfect in the world.
Mike Riley
of
never
sports.
had
It's back.
Adrian.
No, it didn't.
Dang it. One
did,
pick
didn't he?
one pick later. Birmingham had the 14th pick. Dang it.
You wanted Adrian.
So close.
I
didn't know Adrian was part of it.
I didn't know either. That's what's so exciting about this draft is it's basically who knows? Who knows who you're gonna
Damn it.
But your long argument that Adrian was gonna play in the NFL
Still up for
it's still up there.
up
It's
for
still up
grabs.
there. We'll see. But I think he's gonna start at least in the USFL.
Nah. He'll get picked. He'll get picked in the NFL draft. You you wait.
Now listen, I'm not the biggest
Look, a second round USFL draft pick is at least a 6th round NFL draft pick. All right?
that is not true.
You watch yourself.
But I am a little bit surprised if would you take Adrian Martinez or Tanner Morgan? We've watched both those guys for 8 years now.
The type of offense that I like to run on Madden and NCAA football,
Yeah.
Adrian Martinez.
Yeah. I'm surprised that he got picked below Tanner Morgan. And some of that could be, what's the chances
same round.
he gets a chance. Same round.
Michigan they just wanted a guy who throws the ball a little bit better. Whereas New Jersey's like, all right, you're gonna lead the league in rushing.
Now, I will say this: if Adrian Martinez starts playing the USFL, I'll definitely watch.
100%. I'm gonna watch. Like, I'm still a Stallions guy.
Yeah.
But
you're not gonna jump ship.
no, I never will.
You're that committed to your
Never.
USFL
Yeah,
team?
never will I.
Hmm.
But I will root for Adrian Martinez to have tons of success with the New Jersey Generals.
I like how quickly you caught my Mike Riley and Adrian connection, which there is none.
There's zero connection. You said it, and I go, wait,
No,
that's not.
That didn't happen.
That's not true.
I think Adrian might have been committed by the time Mike went to that basketball game, so there might be some.
Definitely.
Some Nebraska.
100%.
So what we always wondered, what would have happened if we would have kept Mike Riley and had Adrian Martinez come in? We'll get our answer.
I don't think Adrian would have came in. He was going to Tennessee. If Adrian goes to Tennessee, Hendon Hooker never happens.
Is Adrian Joe Milton if he goes to Tennessee?
He's Hendon Hooker.
Where's he Hendon Hooker?
He's Hendon Hooker.
I don't know about that.
Heisman finalist until he gets hurt.
I'm very intrigued. by
Heisman
the
winner
USFL
until he gets
draft
hurt.
now.
Shout out to the USFL for keeping things interesting.
Here's another question: would you rather have Tanner Morgan or Aiden Kelly-McManus?
Ooh. What's my receiving core look like?
Right. Tanner needs to go back to that. What was it? 2000?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been around forever.
If
2019, whatever year it was.
If I have an elite receiving core, Tanner Morgan. If I have a so-so receiving core, Caliac Manis.
And Caliac Manis has to use his legs a little bit. That was
Exactly.
the whole idea. I thought of him coming in, and then he didn't do that against
No,
Nebraska.
if I've got receivers out the wazoo, then I'm putting a pocket passer in there, and I'm loading up on offensive linemen. That's what I'm doing.
We'll see. We'll follow along. We'll see how many Huskers are picking these USFL draft. Again, Adrian.
What are you talking about? One already was.
That's not a Husker. That says Kansas
Oh,
State.
I'm sorry. Once a Husker, always a Husker. Boom. First line. Martinez played in Nebraska for 4 seasons before transferring to Kansas State.
He's got a lot of records here. And
he does.
And a Big 12 championship.
He became one of just 3 Power 5 quarterbacks over the last 15 seasons with 300 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns over a 2-game span, joining Louisville's Lamar Jackson and Auburn's Cam Newton.
One of those things is not like the other.
Since the 2000 season, he is one of just 4 QBs in that span to total over 2,800 career rush yards and 9,500 career pass yards. The others are Colin Kaepernick, Cody Fajardo, Malik Cunningham.
He's very Malik Cunningham. I think him and Malik Cunningham
I
belong in the same sentence.
Loved watching Malik Cunningham in Louisville.
He was always he was that borderline. He's good, but should we start him?
Yeah, it's like he's good and he's good enough.
Yeah,
but
could probably upgrade.
But it's always like, could we?
Yeah.
If we do, what is this person going to do? But maybe they'll do this better, but they won't be able to do both of them.
He wasn't so good that Luke McCaffrey didn't think he could go in there and beat him.
Yeah, well,
that didn't work out.
That was a bad idea on everybody's part.
Yeah, it just didn't work out. I don't think we talk enough either about how the Adrian Martinez storyline that we all feared last offseason and couldn't stop talking about played out exactly.
Pretty much played out.
Exactly how many people that doubted Scott Frost expected. I mean, that was exactly what you worried would happen. Adrian would go over, win the Big 12 championship in Nebraska, would melt down before conference play, and have to fire Scott Frost. That's exactly what happened. The worst case scenario.
Adrian Martinez was successful somewhere else running a totally different offense.
Yes.
And Nebraska was not.
Yes.
Just imagine if Nebraska was just good enough to make a bowl game and they had to play Kansas State.
That was the last part that we wanted to see, right?
Whoever said they wanted that did not want that.
Oh, I tell you what, I'd lose 59-0 to Kansas State in a bowl game just to get to one, so I could have a month of extra practices and at least
Can you imagine
a step forward?
That Kansas State? I mean, actually, that Bill Bush run defense was pretty good, but imagine that Kansas State running offense against the earlier iteration of Nebraska's defense.
Hey, by the end, Nebraska was beating a very sound Iowa team.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Who knows what would have happened. Let's take a break here on the Ticket Water Cooler. Hopefully somebody else gets drafted, and we can talk a little bit more about that. We've got plenty to break down here as well. Derek Carr's free agency, Shohei Ohtani potential free agency, jumping sports there. Jock Vaughn and another jump sports. NBA gets a multi-year extension. So we'll talk sports, all things sports, coming up next year on the Ticket Water Cooler, 93.7 The Ticket. Jake Bachman here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Solarion. A lot of people don't understand what Solarion is all about or have some preconceived notions about it, but I've participated in their studies for many years and keep going back for many reasons. First off, the staff always treats me well, makes me well aware of what I'm doing, and they're really knowledgeable and informative. That always gives me the comfort to keep going back. Some people do studies as often as they can, others just look for one. More than 1,700 people completed the screening process for a study. Whether you're male or female and at least 19 years of age, you're eligible. If you're curious about how to earn up to $500 per day by participating in a research study at Solarion, check them out at helpresearch.com/new or call them at 866-213-2965. Once again, that's Solarion at 866-213-2965 or at helpresearch.com/new.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
John Henry's Plumbing.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs. Hey guys, Nick Sadert here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Spine and Sports Chiropractic. I experienced a herniated disc in my lower back a few years ago, and thanks to the folks at Spine and Sports, I got back to feeling 100%. At Spine and Sports, they use the active release technique, which involves the soft tissue and can alleviate headaches, shoulder pain, plantar fasciitis, and more. What I like most about the ART method is that your doctor will construct a plan that fits your needs because the technique is not a cookie-cutter approach. Allow Spine and Sports Chiropractic to help you feel better. Set up your appointment today by giving them a call at 402-261-6841.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. As we roll into the year, we continue to get plenty of new 2023 inventory and have a great selection of used vehicles. If we don't have what you want, we can put a new vehicle order in for you. We also have 2.9% financing right now on select Chevy and GMC new models. So stop on in and make that short drive to Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Ever think of having a career in plumbing or heating? Do you enjoy watching your favorite game in a nice, comfortable space? Taking a shower after a warm day? Well, everyone we serve at Biggerstaff Plumbing, Heating, and Air sure does. If you're interested in a career in plumbing, heating, and air, come join our team where you'll get paid while training. No experience required. Enjoy great pay and benefits in a friendly environment. Call Biggerstaff Plumbing, Heating, and Air at 402-466-8118 or apply online at biggerstaffs.com.
You were almost home when suddenly you find yourself battling off the germs that cause sore throats. Luckily, you've been training for this moment by staying up to date on vaccinations, washing your hands, disinfecting surfaces at home, and avoiding touching your face. And thanks to the great tips at catchgoodhealth.org, you're on your way to being the very best at staying well. Don't let the Pikachu damage your health this cold and flu season. Instead, start your training today at catchgoodhealth.org.
Mike Shaver here to tell you that Trek CBD has a new name, and it's Hemp Boss. It's the same product you've grown to love, just a new name. Spring sports are on the horizon, and Hemp Boss has a variety of products that help calm me down during games and on the golf course so I don't go over the top. And they have a variety of options for you to calm you down before, during, and after any event. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Hemp Boss has it all at 84 for the internet. Hemp Boss, naturally healthy CBD.
Come see the state's largest display of John Deere equipment at Acres Ag and Turf Expo. Acres Ag professionals and suppliers will be on hand to discuss techniques from tillage and planting to application and harvest. Also, don't miss the full lineup of John Deere mowers and compact tractors. Join us at Grand Island Fauner Park February 21st and 22nd or the Lincoln Lancaster Event Center March 8th and 9th. Go to acres.com to request your free tickets today.
We have a Big 12 battle tonight here on the ticket as the number 23 Iowa State Cyclones travel down south to take on the 8th-ranked Texas Longhorns. The last matchup between these two back on January 17th saw the Cyclones upset the Longhorns up in Ames 78-67. After starting the season 13-2, Iowa State has lost 7 of their last 11 games. Can the Cyclones sweep the Longhorns in the regular season, or will Texas get revenge? Tip-off is scheduled for 7:45 p.m., and you can hear all the action right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. As we roll into the year, we continue to get plenty of new 2023 inventory and have a great selection of used vehicles. If we don't have what you want, we can put a new vehicle order in for you. We also have 2.9% financing right now on select Chevy and GMC new models. So stop on in and make that short drive to Louisville or check us out online at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Ever think of having a career in plumbing or heating? Do you enjoy watching your favorite game in a nice, comfortable space? Taking a shower after a warm day? Well, everyone we serve at Biggerstaff Plumbing, Heating, and Air sure does. If you're interested in a career in plumbing, heating, and air, come join our team where you'll get paid while training. No experience required. Enjoy great pay and benefits in a friendly environment. Call Biggerstaff Plumbing, Heating, and Air at 402-466-8118 or apply online at biggerstaffs.com.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler, brought to you by Wingstop on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are rocking out here on the water cooler. Thanks for joining us. Again, this is the Ticket Water Cooler here on 93.7 The Ticket. We've invited Nick Sandert in studio for the crossover with Happy Hour, which is coming up next. And I've got several topics I want to explore with you guys. So I'm going to try out this new thing. Since we are in, a water cooler, I did want to try this. I did want the sound out here. Not that sound. That didn't work. But here we go. All right, we're going to go from topic to topic, and when we finish, we will just make this noise.
Before you go,
yep.
My Birmingham Stallions have made a quarterback pick.
Who did they pick?
Get out of here.
Malik Cunningham.
Malik Cunningham.
Oh, the
Perfect.
Louisville guy.
We were just talking about Adrian Martinez and his whatever records he has, and Malik Cunningham. Him and Malik Cunningham are compared to each other. Box says it was a good comp, and I said, Birmingham missed out on Adrian by one pick. They got Malik Cunningham. We're good.
They're both that perfect Power 5 starter, but but you're still looking.
My adopted boy.
Who have the Battlehawks selected?
No, this is USFL, not XFL.
Oh, my bad.
Come on, man.
Who's my team in the USFL?
I don't remember. You need to remember these things. He did.
I did pick a team.
You got to remember these things. My defending champion, Birmingham Stallions.
Congratulations on now. If Adrian Martinez wins a USFL championship
with Mike Riley,
and
Riley
Bob Diaco, does Nebraska claim it?
Nebraska's back.
Does Nebraska try to claim it?
The Generals are Nebraska's nightmare. I mean, this is just the collection of the worst things that happen at Nebraska.
New Jersey, shout out the
Throw
Rutgers.
it in New Jersey, yeah.
Honestly, they'd be foolish not to.
Who do they draft next? Who's the next worst guy they can put on the roster?
Somebody from Colorado.
We might need to go back. I think I chose the Generals just for Mike Riley.
You might have. You chose it for Bob Diaco.
I chose it for Bob Diaco.
You're a big because he's professional now.
Robert.
He's Robert Diaco.
So I chose Adrian Martinez.
Your Generals.
That's your team.
My Generals, the team I just forgot I was cheering for. I want.
There you go. Now you're excited.
I need to go back and look because I want to make sure. I don't want to be one of those guys that's just now
just picks a team.
Joining the team now.
Joining the team.
Just choose whoever. It's the US. If you don't remember your team, just pick a team.
No, that's not how
he didn't stick with his team.
That's not how this works.
We picked a team day one.
We made these decisions,
and we have to stick with it, just like the Battlehawks, and
just like my Sea Dragons
over the weekend.
And their crushing loss.
So we'll have to go back. I think it was
really
the Generals, though, because looking at these, I was not gonna. If I was going off of names, I would definitely do the Memphis Showboats.
That's new.
Okay,
it's a new team.
You can switch if you want.
Maybe I need to. I might.
If you don't remember,
depending on who the Showboats draft, that's tough not to like.
They have taken. Hold on, let's see who they've taken. Let's go to the first round. They took Mason Brooks, an offensive tackle out of Mississippi.
I don't like that.
With their
you
first
don't have
pick.
to worry about building the line.
And then they took Isaiah Bolden, a cornerback out of Jackson State.
Okay, corner from Dion's school.
Yeah,
he tied the FCS. He tied for the FCS lead with 2 kickoff return touchdowns.
I like it. Speed.
He was a 4-star cornerback coming out of high school. He went to Florida State for 2 seasons before transferring to Jackson State.
All right. I'll go with the Showboats.
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
Showboats.
Although I feel like I'm cheating on Robert Diaco.
Then they took Brevin Allen, a defensive end out of Campbell.
Can it be Braylon Allen?
It's Brevin.
Hey, that'll. Hey, this is gonna start. This is a good transition here.
He had 9.5 sacks.
That's the water cooler noise.
Perfect.
And it means we're jumping things. But go ahead and say your last.
He had 9.5 sacks and 17.5 tackles for loss this last season.
That's good. We're back.
All right. Do you guys have a problem with Braylon Allen saying he's the best running back? He said he had an interview saying he's going to be the best running back returning in the nation. Obviously, Blake Corum is over there. He might be the best in the Big Ten.
I don't have a problem with him saying that. He's trying to speak it into existence. He's pretty much saying that he wants to be the best returning running back in the nation. So I get it. I get the confidence, and I understand where he's going with it. Some people might not agree with him. Some people being probably everybody in this room. But hey, what do we know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, that's how you're supposed to act, right? I forgot about Blake Corum. I don't know how I could.
Because he got hurt.
He got injured.
Yeah, he got injured. I was thinking
the Big Ten's loaded with running backs.
The Big Ten is loaded with running backs. From a country or a nation standpoint, like Bijan Robinson left. So I think Bijan never got enough credit, although I think he won the Doak Walker.
Texas
he didn't get credit for that.
He got credit for that, but like in terms of Heisman notoriety, like in conversation, what Bijan Robinson did for Texas was fun to watch.
Do people forget Travion Henderson's freshman year? I understand he was hurt last year.
I don't know if forget, but
hey, yeah, no,
Mayan Williams stepped in.
Never forget, I picked Ohio State to win the national title.
You did.
They should have.
All right, let's go to Derek Carr's free agency. According to his brother, David Carr, is going to be a long process to choose his new team. What do you think about Derek Carr weighing his options, waiting around? Do you think that's going to hurt him? I mean, you don't want to wait till the draft.
No, I think it's great. I think it's great. And he could wait till the draft. If a team, takes a quarterback that they don't think is quite ready, maybe they take a chance on Derek Carr, although I think he might want a longer contract. It might hurt in terms of length of a contract and possibly money if he waits that long. But I think a longer process is good for him because you don't just want to jump into the next situation that, the first person that calls you up and is like, hey, do you want to come join our team? You don't want to do that. So a longer process is probably good for him to find the right fit for his skill set.
I'm surprised that he hasn't just chosen the Saints yet.
Yeah,
that's probably the best choice.
That's been the team with the most momentum and the most possibility, or the greatest possibility. Also, he's visited them like twice while he was still under contract with the Raiders.
Do you think it's maybe something where the Saints are telling him we like you, but
maybe we don't like you that much.
But we want to see kind of what goes on.
Maybe, and if that's the case, I think the Saints would also be dumb to not.
What if the Saints are going after Aaron Rodgers?
Ooh, see, that could be the thing that's hanging out
Okay.
I think the Aaron Rodgers saga is putting a small
his little dark.
I don't know if anybody's checked on him.
Are you guys old enough for the advent of the Houston Texans? Do you guys remember David Carr, the brother that?
Oh yeah.
All right, David Carr has 2 records in the NFL from one season, his first season in the NFL.
Was it most times sacked?
Most times sacked. He was sacked. What was it? Let's see, 76 times.
Jeez,
that's the new
most pick sixes.
Most fumble recoveries in a single season with 12.
Like he recovered them?
He recovered 12 of his own fumbles.
Get on him.
From getting sacked so much.
Yeah.
And so that is a record. Also, fun fact, he finished 5th in the 2001 Heisman race. Wasn't invited to New York, but of course 2001 was Crouch, Grossman, Ken Dorsey, and Joey Harrington right behind them. David Carr was the number 1 pick of the draft. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's pause quick seconds for station identification.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, we're back here on the Ticket Water Cooler.
Jay Foreman says it was 82 sacks.
82 sacks? Oh, my goodness.
That's getting
one way or the other. It was a record.
That's hit so much.
And was Jay, I would have to ask you.
Jay was with him.
Was he on the first team?
I don't know. Yeah. I think so.
I think he might have been.
I think he was part of that.
Expansion draft?
Yeah, expansion draft.
Yeah.
I think they stole him off the Bills roster.
Yeah. Well, it turned out well for him. He did well there. Yeah, either way. All right, let's jump to this topic. Agent of Shohei Ohtani says he's going to explore free agency or has the right to explore free agency anyway. Some other suitors that could be in play here: the Dodgers, the Mets, maybe Giants, Cubs. Of course, you have to think that LA is going to be fighting in there too. The thought is, if he keeps up and plays like last year, could be in the neighborhood of $500 million, another $500 million player. What do you guys think about Shohei Ohtani exploring free agency?
Well, I did see one player who said that they were going to do their try their hardest to get him on their team.
Who's that?
Who?
Your boy.
Which one's my boy?
Your boy. Your next Shohei Ohtani.
No way.
He said that he was going to do what he could to get Shohei to Chicago.
Now, here's what's crazy about all this. With the universal DH now a thing, Shohei's value even goes up even more, just because when he pitches, you don't have to DH for him. So with the universal DH going in both the American and National League, you're able to have him on the mound and hit for him.
I'm just saying he would fit perfectly.
Excuse me, and he would
be able to hit. I'm just saying he would be able to fit perfectly in Yankee Stadium.
No, he would get hit. He would have too many home runs hit off.
It would be perfect. No, he wouldn't.
Into the right field porch.
Nah, he'd be fine.
I don't know, man. I think
you had Aaron Judge patrolling the right field.
The Cubs are going to be just fine this year. I'm calling over 80 wins.
Is that just fine? Is that good?
That's probably playing for a wild card.
They're not going to get there.
That probably.
I can't wait for this.
You hammer the under. Are you going to put it at 80? Are you going to change it from?
I'm keeping it at 77.
77,
but I think they get over 80 wins.
Under.
Jay, by the way, chimes in, says he wasn't in the expansion draft, but he was on the team. So up a little bit. And Kelsey says the Cubs won't be good.
Yeah. In more words.
Yeah.
Kelsey's going to be happy. Like Missy Mudog and all of our Cardinals fans are going to be thrilled. They took they stripped Wilson Contreras from our fingers. And then they're going to be really good. They got, obviously Arenado still, and Cardinals are going to win that NL Central division, but
you think so?
I do.
All right, final topic.
Also, the Brewers have pissed off Corbin Burns.
Yeah, I saw that.
What they do?
They just made Corbin Burns bad.
He's not happy.
He's not happy with the
contract,
Brewers.
or
no idea.
We don't know, but he is not happy with the Brewers. So that might move the Cubs up into second place in the NL Central.
From one Chicago team to the next for you, Nick, here as we wrap up.
Lonzo
Ball, not returning this season. Yeah. But yes, Patrick Beverly is in this conversation. Lonzo Ball out for the season with knee surgery still bothering him. They are signing or set to sign Patrick Bev for a playoff push.
Yep,
as they are 26 and 33, 2 games out of the 10 seed.
Yeah, good luck with that.
You're right. No. He said
is Pat Bev the answer?
No, I don't care for Pat Bev, but here's the deal. Pat Bev said on a podcast that, and I just saw it on Twitter before we started this segment, that he said, quote, "It was between Chicago and Golden State, and I picked Chicago because that's where the playoff push. The East is weak."
Chicago is 2 games out of the play-in.
Yeah.
Golden State is 1.5 games out of.
But the West.
Actually, no. Golden State's in the play-in.
The West is tougher.
No, it's not.
Have you seen the Suns? How about those Nets? The Mavs.
The Nets aren't even in the West.
Or the Nets aren't in the West.
No,
and they're not
Mavs.
in.
No. The Mavs are in the West, though.
No, the West is not great.
The West is worse than the East.
It is.
Yes.
So I don't know what Pat Bev is.
So
welcome to Chicago. Please figure out Lonzo Ball.
That'll wrap it up for the Ticket Water Cooler here on 93.7 The Ticket. Happy Hour coming up next.
Ever think of having a career in plumbing or heating? Do you enjoy watching your favorite